Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside and this week's nursery tour. Now, I know I'm no Jerry, but you're back with Jenny again here on the nursery tour. We're gonna do it a little differently today because we're actually open. Today is Friday and it is just already first thing in the morning, quite busy. We got customers here, we're restocking. You're gonna see that the fellas have pulled down annuals from production. We are putting them, of course, out and about. We still have some holes from the past 2 days because it has just been a banged up day. And so we are going to continue that through this weekend all into next week because of course it is go time here in North Carolina, a zone 8A. We're in Dallas, which is just west of Charlotte. We are a grower retailer. That is why we can just pull down our plants from production and bring them on down. We do bring in some plants from other wholesale nurseries because you can't grow everything. We're going to show you some of those plants that we have just come in. We have another truck coming. We've got 2 more trucks coming today. It's a full day, my friends. So the reason that we do these nursery tours is to give you a real-time idea of what is at the garden center right now and what is growing, blooming, and thriving, and what you can add to your garden at this time. We are open Wednesdays through Saturday, 9 to 3. Y'all, Wednesday through Saturday, 9 to 3. I will ask you, please. I did this once before and y'all were amazing because I had multiple people tell me that they did this. When you come visit us, we live at the end of a gravel road. It's about a mile long. This is a neighborhood that we live in and we're at the very end in the country. It's a country neighborhood, but nonetheless it is a neighborhood. We have 3 families that have very small children, like toddler preschool age. Please go slow when you drive in. There is only one way to get to Creekside Nursery. That is down this road. It is not going to do any good for you to fly down the road. Take your time. Slow down. You're going 12, 15 miles an hour? That's perfect. You're coming in here at 20, 30, 40, 50 miles an hour? Not good, my friends. If you're making big clouds of dust, you're going too fast. Please slow down. Please do not make my neighbors mad at me because y'all have a lead foot and coming down super fast. We have, again, 3 families, very small children. No, they're not playing out the road, but just please be respectful that this is a neighborhood and drive slow. All right, that was my little TED Talk. Now we're gonna go on to the nursery tour here at the Garden Center. We have, oh my gosh, y'all, there is so much that we could talk about. There's so much that we could focus on. Of course, the hanging baskets. You saw me do a video on how you can take a hanging basket and use it in very creative ways. Like right here, we have, this is a Super Bells Over Easy. As Mary Claire says, this is the egg one because it looks like a fried egg, right? Over Easy. You got Super Bells, you got Petunias, you got everything. You've got Jazzberry, you name it, we've got it. We've also got the ones in the cocoa lined basket. These you really don't have to do anything. They are meant to be taken and then hung straight up on your porch or an arbor or a pergola. It doesn't matter. These are 16-inch baskets. We've got multiple different kinds of recipes from Proven Winners on these guys, and so you can use them however you like. I'm gonna try to hit like the big main things, which is really hard because there's a lot of things that are main things right now. Of course, we've got bleeding hearts. This is one of my favorites. This is the really beautiful chartreuse. This is gold heart. Gold heart, of course, you've got that great color for the shade with the traditional sweet little pink flowers on it. It is done blooming, so you have that gold heart. This is a dicentra, right? Shade, full shade, definitely a shade plant, hardy in zones 3 to 9. This will be nice and wide, like 2 to 3 feet wide and almost about 2 feet tall. So you've got a great, beautiful perennial, give you lots of good pop of color in your shade garden. Another one that is great for the shade garden that we are on limited supply of this. This is Heaven Sent. Heaven Sent is also known as a Jacob's Ladder, and this on the tag you'll notice it says full sun to part shade, but on the back when you look it says perennial in zones 3 to 7. I am an 8A. That means this baby needs shade. If I were to put this in the sun, it would absolutely fry in seconds. So you need to put it, if you're in my zone, if you're in a hot zone like me, you need to put it in the shade. If you're in a cool zone, you're zone 3, absolutely you could put it in full sun. Not me. It looks like a fern. People think that they are ferns. And they do these really sweet, they're getting ready to bloom, you know, right? These upright stems, they're gonna have these bluish purple flowers on it. It is a beautiful shade plant. There is limited supply, and it's not just limited supply from Creekside, it is limited supply from Proven Winners. So we have a couple of those left, and I think we're still growing some. So if you want to get those, you just need to move with purpose and come see us. The perennial salvias, they're looking great. We've got multiple different areas of these. They are blooming. This is the time of year when they're going to bloom. You could do a beautiful kaleidoscope of different colors if you wanted to, like this. You have everywhere from like Indigo Girl that has that deeper purple, blue, whatever you want to call it, right? So you've got that. You've got back to the fuchsia, which is so fun. Look at these flowers on this one. It has the pink and that purple in it. Really neat. Clearly very upright. Salvias, of course, love the sun. You need to put them in sun. They're hardy in zones 3 to 8. The series is called like the Color Spires. That is what these are, the series. And then you have the different, you know, plant names like Pink Profusion. That's not a Color Spires, but you got Pink Profusion, which is one of my favorites. Then you've got the Crystal Blue, which is all, you know, a very, very light blue. So we've got those as well. You see that nice pop of chartreuse right there? That is the ornamental oregano, and this is Drops of Jupiter. Such a fun plant, y'all. Did not know that I would love ornamental oregano so much, but I do. Have 3 of these in the backyard, and they're fabulous. They are, for me, a evergreen. So even in the winter, this is what it would look like in the winter for me. Nice and low, but that great color. So Drops of Jupiter, you can see in the picture where it will get nice and tall, like 2 feet tall, with the bloom spikes on it. Hardy in zones 4 to 9, and very gorgeous. I mean, just pops of color, y'all. So I actually have this on the front edge of the border of the flower bed in the back because it has this beautiful color to it. Love it. Low maintenance plant, y'all. You want to talk about an easy peasy plant, this is it. Since it's oregano, critters don't like to chew on it. It's doing great. So there you go with that. Let's move on. Okay, phloxes. This is those panicle phloxes. I love the panicles because they are going to be your last blooming phlox, right? So you have the creeping phlox early on, then you have like the opening act series. Then the last one of the season is the luminary series. Trying to find you a tag here. So there's a couple of different colors. This is prismatic pink. This is one of the newer ones. Beautiful foliage on it. Does really like bright pink flowers. Probably my favorite though, this is a newer, like the plant itself is younger, is the ultraviolet. And ultraviolet, as you can see from that tag, is an absolutely neon purple plant, right? The flowers are gorgeous, and it gets some height to it. It can get like 3 feet tall, which is perfect, very columnar, and it is going to be hardy in zones 3 to 8. Definitely needs the full sun. So if you're looking for a beautiful flowering perennial later on the season, you can't go wrong with those luminary series. Favorite lavender, hands down, phenomenal lavender. Phenomenal lavender is phenomenal. It handles our heat and humidity like an absolute champ. It gets nice and wide. The height on it, it does get some height because it can be a big one. The spacing, let's see, height about 2 feet tall. That includes the flowers, right? So that includes the spikes of the flowers, and spacing is 3 feet because over time it can get that big. But if you're a southerner and you have struggled with lavender in the past, try phenomenal. I was ready to brush off my hands and never do lavender again. And Kata, she was like, Jenny from Walter's Garden, she was like, try this. I promise you're gonna love it. I do. It is no other word but phenomenal. So we've got, the hyanthus, look at this. This is fun. These are part of the fruit punch. You've got the cranberry cocktail right here. Look at, this is what we call like a carnation type bloom, right? So this is the carnation bloom as opposed to the paint the town, which is like a single bloom. this is fancy, no less wonderful, but it's just a different style. And so we have got like the cranberry cocktail, you have got this really pretty peach, this is classic coral. So you've got different colors, but look at that. Isn't that sweet? Just gorgeous. Now these are definitely full sun plants, right? And they're gonna get 8 to 10 inches tall. I love these because these do great on the edge of a border. They're an evergreen, so you have this beautiful silvery blue foliage, and they're gonna be hardy in zones 4 to 9. So very, very versatile on that. We also, so these are the rest of the salvias. We got tons of different salvias. My people are working their little heinies off trying to get it all out. Let's talk about peonies, my friends. Peonies. It is peony season for sure. Look at all these buds, right? This is in the marble stage. This is what we call the marble stage. And so they are going to bloom. Now, if you remember from a couple of nursery tours ago, we talked about how some of these don't have tags on them. They're mysteries, and so we're very anxious to see how they're going to bloom, because then we'll know what plant they are. It just happens right in the nursery is that either the wind blows the tag out, or a customer takes it out, or it just falls out. Sometimes that happens, and then you get left with mystery plants. But if you're interested in peonies, it is definitely time. We just have one little corner, that's the mystery section. The rest of them, we know exactly what they are. Let's talk about the peonies though for just 1 second, because if you can notice, I don't know if the camera will pick up on it, but right here, we have ants. If you get ants on your peonies, that is completely normal. They are not hurting your peony at all. Do you know what they're after? They're after that sweet nectar that the peony is actually producing. So you do not need to kill the ants. They're not hurting the plants whatsoever. They're not eating the plants. They're not doing any kind of harm whatsoever. This is a very, symbiotic relationship, right? Great, they're fine. If you want to cut the flowers, you probably don't want ants in your house. You can just get a hose, like water, and just rinse them off. What I'll also do is go ahead and put them in the vase, and then put that vase in a bowl of water for like the first day, because the ants will go out, and then they have like a little moat, and they go in the moat and not all over your house. But lots of different varieties for your peonies. And obviously peonies bloom at different times. Like we have, this is the Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple is going to be a nice white, very small bud, even though we've got a little ant on that. Nice and small, as opposed to you come over here to Kansas, and Kansas is much more developed, right? So you've got options for sure on that. Oh, we have to go talk about these clematis. I cannot believe that these clematis are still here, because, dear heavens, they are stunning. So let's look at the clematis right quick. Also, blackberries. Look, so pretty, right? So the blackberries are forming their flowers, which that means then we're gonna have fruit. This is the thornless one. This is Navajo, so a thornless blackberry, upright growth habit, excellent fruit, very flavorful, firm and sweet. Yeah, I mean, that's gorgeous flowers on those. But look at that clematis. Look at my crew. They're great, amazing. Yeah, look at this. Is this, y'all, seriously? Dear heavens to Betsy. So this particular one is Toki. Sure, we'll go with that. Toki. Toki is a pure white, gorgeous, massive flowers that will be hardy up to zone 4. 4 to 9 tall, spring, summer, just gorgeous. So if you're looking for that pop of white, you've got that. And then Dr. Rupel. If you like pink, Dr. Rupel is the way to go. That pink and purple, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, we're gonna walk over here really quick, because we're gonna look at the shade garden. So we're gonna walk through the garden center and come over here, because it is definitely go time for your hostas. Also, can we just pause for a moment and look at the azaleas? This is Laura's bed. I planted this for a video for Laura Garden Answer, and those azaleas. Oh, these are the bloomathons. Bloomathons are not in, they don't have a ton of bloomathons anymore. They've kind of moved to the Perfecto Mundo series, but just gorgeous. I mean, stunning. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what the color is, but is that not beautiful? And when I say we've done nothing to these plants, y'all, clearly nothing. I mean, like the weeds. I mean, you can tell, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, it's fun around here. There's so many wonderful things to do. But here we go. All right, really quickly, because there's a lot to get covered, and I feel like I'm losing time here. All right. Hostas, tons and tons and tons of gorgeous hostas. Whether you want hostas that are nice and small and short, like thyme in a bottle. If you want to do guacamole, look at guacamole. This is one of my absolute favorite hostas. It is gorgeous. So guacamole, just like we love to eat guacamole, you can also have guacamole in your garden. This one is going to be 3 feet wide and about 2 feet tall. Beautiful variegation on it. It has just really nice color. Of course, that color will change as it goes through the season, but guacamole is a great hosta. You definitely want to add this one to your garden. Also, really quickly, before we move on, I noticed this when I was talking to Cece. 2 years ago, I planted a climbing hydrangea. She's taking off. Now, this is a traditional climbing hydrangea. It is not, doesn't have a specific like brand name or it's a what we call a standard plant, right, in a black pot, non-branded. But y'all, look how it's growing. Isn't that great? So this climbing hydrangea, all the way down here and coming up, this is not gonna hurt the tree. I was very particular to make sure that it would not hurt the tree, but when I first planted it, because it's, you know, the base of a pine tree, I had to plant it way out here, and then I just tacked it up a little bit. But as it grows, it will send out, see how it goes into the nooks and crannies of the pine tree right there? And it is, I mean, like, I'm not gonna pull too hard because I don't want to break it, but it is attached, it is there. It is deciduous. Climbing hydrangeas tend to go a little slower, but when they do, they are very happy. We have available here at the nursery Flirty Girl, and Flirty Girl is from Proven Winners, and look, already buds. Now you can see that this Flirty Girl already has flower buds on her. This has been sitting out all winter, so this is traditionally what she's going to do. Now notice mine, that's the non-branded, just the regular, quote, generic. Do you see any flower buds? No, I do not either. So that is why we love when we have these plants from Proven Winners, right? They take a great plant like this climbing hydrangea and then they make it even better. So it blooms faster. So you get blooms quicker than you do on just the kind of the classic plant, right? So we will see when I get blooms, but Flirty Girl is already putting out those buds. Now, let's talk about it. Hardy in zones 5 to 9, definitely part shade. You can see that this is getting some of that filtered morning sun. This is what she wants, right? Because it has to go under a tree. It's climbing a tree or an arbor or a trellis or a pergola, right? But definitely not full sun. And yes, you're reading that right. It will get 40 to 50 feet tall and 4 to 7 wide. That's why I say put it on a tree, because I don't know that you have a 40 to 50 foot tall pergola at your house. Okay, really quickly, we're gonna run over here and look at the plants that came in to the nursery, because we got some new hydrangeas, the Let's Dance Lovable. So I wanna share those with you. They are one of the newer hydrangeas from Proven Winners. That Let's Dance series is gonna be, for us, where we are in the South, gonna be more in the filtered sun, morning sun, afternoon shade. Probably not gonna be, you know, there in the heat of the afternoon sun. Now, these were just pruned. So, in fact, the nursery wasn't even gonna send them to us, and we were like, no, we know what they are, we love them, we'll flush them out, our customers know what they are, they don't have a problem with it. So, here we go. We've got these guys. Now the Let's Dance Lovable is going to be what we call pH dependent. So you see on the front, you have a hot pink flower. On the back, You have purple and blue mixed in together. Depends on your soil. If you're acidic like I am, this is going to be my color. If you're more alkaline like it just depends, right? Then you're going to be more pink. Now, Let's Dance Lovable is going to be hardy in zones 5 to 9. It is 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. And while it says you can go to sun or part sun, remember where you are and think about it. If you're in the heat and the humidity, you're going to need a break in the afternoon of the sun. Just gorgeous, abundant blooms, supercharged ability to re-bloom. It blooms on new and old growth. They have really taken, just like that hydrangea, right? They take the characteristics of a plant that are less than desirable and try to get rid of those, meaning that this hydrangea, this Let's Dance Lovable, is a macrophylla. Old-timey. They would only bloom on old growth. So sometimes you wouldn't get flowers if you pruned it the wrong time or you had a late freeze and it killed all the buds. You wouldn't get flowers. So that's the pesky part of it. So what they did is it blooms on old and new. Yes, they were just pruned. So unfortunately, we lost our very early blooms. But guess what? It also blooms on new growth. So you're going to get flowers from the new growth. So there you go. So we have got those. If you're interested in them, come on and come get them. Don't worry, y'all. They're going to flush out, right? You can clearly tell that the plant is alive and happy, and they will do well. Now, we have some Vitex, a chase tree, right? So Vitexes, you may be familiar with. They remind me very much of a butterfly bush. This is going to be a very large shrub or small tree. They do beautiful blue flowers. Your butterflies go absolutely bananas over them and absolutely love them. I do not have one. Just might have to grab one for the old garden myself and put it in. These are 7-gallon. I would say these are probably 7-gallon containers, and the blooms on new growth. So you can see that the nursery that we got them from had pruned them right here. But look, you've got all these beautiful branching on it, blooms on new growth. We are guaranteed to have flowers every single year. And then of course the trees, right? So we've got dogwoods. These are B&Bs, meaning ball and burlap. So you've got like the summer gold dogwood, you've got the radiant rose, which is gonna be like a really pretty pink. You've got your paper bark maples. We do have, I think, some fire glows still. Yes, we got some fire glows still left over. We've got crimson queens. We've got the Emperor One. This is another great one for the sun. So lots of things happening, lots of things going on. Come see us, my friends. So Wednesdays through Saturdays, 9 to 3. We would love to help you in any way that we can. It is going to be a beautiful season. There's so many plants, so little time. If you're a gardener, I think you understand how I feel about that. The glitters and glows, these are in the signature garden. This is, I know I told you I was gonna be done, I'm not. Glitters and glows, you really need to come grab these, y'all. These are gonna be 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. Blooms on new growth. It's the male and the female plant all in one, so they self-pollinate, and you're gonna get beautiful blueberries in the fall. You're gonna definitely want one of these beautiful glossy green foliage. Gorgeous. Okay, I'm really done because I could just go on and on forever. Come see us, 9 to 3, Dallas, North Carolina. Go slow. As I tell Jackson as he's racing around, slow down. We don't need to be in a hurry. We love you. Thank you for all your support. Y'all are amazing. The best thing about this nursery business and this whole social media gig is that we get to meet all you. You come here, you get to see us, we get to see you, we get to hug your neck, we get to talk, we get to swap stories. It's great. So we would love to see you. Y'all have a great day. See you next video. Bye, friends.